Welcome to Ruby Thursday. I'm Melissa Wahnish. This is a recording of the Ruby Roundtable meetup, which occurred November 9th, 2016 at ThoughtWorks. Thanks again to our awesome sponsors ThoughtWorks for providing space and food. At this meetup, Todd Wahnish presented his presentation on consulting for developers. He talked about how to pick a niche to really go after so that you can start your consulting career. Enjoy this recording of the Ruby Roundtable.
Okay. So this is gonna be super informal. So feel free at any time to jump out and be like, what the hell do you mean by that? Or if you have any questions, right? So what I want to do is kind of do like a full disclosure kind of thing. So feel free to ask. I've tried to cover most of the bases, so if you have questions about contracts or anything that I'm not completely diving in, feel free, okay? So this is gonna be consulting for developers. So who is this for? I'm assuming this fits you guys. It's really for anyone that has a job, or if you're looking to get started, or if you have started and you're looking to kind of stabilize that roller coaster or grow, right? So if you're looking to start, if you're a full-time job and you're looking to start side projects, or if you have said screw it, you're going full-time freelance, or trying to move from freelance or consulting, or don't know the difference between the two, you're kind of stuck in that spot, right? This is totally that sweet spot. And mainly one of the reasons why I wanted to do this presentation is because I wanted to shift thinking on what clients are all about. Because as creative people, we tend to see clients as almost like a means to an end, right? We're like, oh, I gotta eat, so I guess I'm gonna have to get a job with these people. Yeah, I'll do your site. Okay, thanks. And so there's a lot more around that you can actually use to actually bolster yourself and really put yourself in a good position to see your own career in a positive light, and how you can actually help and work with clients in a positive light as well. Because it's really a magical thing when it works well. So who am I? So my original background, we were talking a little before, my original background is in animation and animation direction. I had a small animation studio, and as time has gone on, we've moved into from animation to toy design, from toy design to web design, from web design to back-end Rails development. So it's always been under the banner of consulting and hiring consultants and having a development shop of some kind of production facility. I also did stints in there with Cartoon Network and Marvel. So I was at Marvel for a couple of years, working with their teams and helping them create intellectual properties. So it's all about using a team to build whatever products you want to have. And through that small team, extending that through consulting, and so on and so forth. So why consulting? Consulting, when you decide to jump into it, is actually the most profitable business that you can do as a solopreneur. And there's a few reasons for this. One, entry point is very low. All you need is a domain and a landing page, right? So if you have a computer and a phone, you're kind of done. You can charge a premium for your services based on results. And what that means is that the sky's the limit. You control the pricing. It's awesome for cash flow, right? You can get paid up front, get high prices. It's all up to you. It's all in your pocket, right? And you don't need a lot of clients. If you have one or two high-paying clients, it's a lifestyle. You're good. If that's what you're looking for, you're done, right? One of the things that I don't see a lot of people talking about is the actual consulting path. Usually the normal path for people who start on their own careers and start them as their own businesses, they start at the bottom over there, which is a generalist DFI. The DFY is done for you. So generalist done for you is basically like, I'll do whatever you want. I can do all of it, right? You need a Squarespace page, I'm good. You need a Rails backend, I'm good. You need a I don't know, wireframes, or whatever it is. Your breadth is so wide that you're just going to take any job you can get, right? And as you move up the ladder, you start to specialize. You start to say, you know what, I'm X for Y. I'm only going to do this type of work with these type of clients because of this type of clients that I really like working with. And then a little further up is specialist consultant, where you're working one-on-one. This is when you start getting into coaching, where you say, well, I'm not going to do it for you, I'm actually going to do it with you, right? I'll help you, but you're going to be responsible for your work. So this is when you start getting into coaching or teaching other developers. Melissa would be an example with Ruby Thursday. And then as you move up, specialist consultant, which is a group in a group setting, and the specialist consultant in a product suite, where you start productizing, and we'll talk about that actually probably in the next slide here. You start productizing and creating your own small projects and products that people can purchase on a recurring basis, and that gives you recurring revenue that you don't have to keep hustling for month after month. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. So what I want to do first is I want to focus on this first bottom two. So what we're going to talk about tonight pretty much is right in here. Okay? So what I want you to do immediately is get away from generalists done for you, right? That the idea that I have a lot of skills and I'm just going to do this for this person, that for that person, this for that person, is really short-term thinking. It's good for immediate results if you just need to get cash tomorrow, but in the long term, it's going to kill you. Like, you're just going to overwork yourself and you're not going to enjoy it, and it tends to lead to low-quality clients and low-quality products that don't pay you that much. What you want to do is bump into specialist. Right? What can you be? What can you specialize in? What can you be an expert at? And the reason, the thinking behind this is I like to think about it, and I use this analogy quite a bit, and that is, think of yourself as a doctor, right? If you are, in this case, a patient, and you need brain surgery, right? Are you going to go to a generalist, like a general practitioner, who's like, yeah, I mean, I do treat allergies and foot sores, but I'll operate on you, sure. Or are you going to go to a brain surgeon, right? Like, you don't even have to think about that. If I need brain surgery, if my life depends on it, I'm going to go to a brain specialist who's a brain surgeon. And that brain surgeon can charge as much as he or she wants. There's no limit. I mean, they can get paid whatever because you're solving a real serious problem. So you want to consider that in your own business. You want to say, okay, well, what can I specialize in? An example, this is actually an example of someone who's doing it in their own business, and it ties perfectly, a specialist example. So this is, her name's Courtney, she's a single founder, it even says about Courtney, so she's branding herself as one person, so it's a very one-to-one relationship, right? And you can see it says growing your practice, so the name of her company is called Surgical Studio, which ties into the metaphor of the doctor. And she helps plastic surgeons, cosmetic dentists, dermatologists get new patients and grow their practice from 6 to 7 figures. That's hyper specific. If I'm a dermatologist or a cosmetic dentist, like, I'm shelling out cash for this, right? And she grew this business to about $125,000 in 6 months, right? Because it was targeted, hyper targeted. If she just had, now if you actually think about what she's doing from a developer standpoint or from a creator standpoint, it's marketing. What she's doing is she's creating traffic, driving traffic to somebody. She's putting them in an auto-response sequence, helping to collect email subscribers, maybe helping them, the dentists and plastic surgeons, do webinars to drive traffic, right? And then she helps them get on an appointment book, like a calendar. Very, very simple, not a lot of overhead, and it's something that she can do over and over and over again. It's the same process, just for different people, right? But the value and the amount of value that the customers get, that the surgeons get, is dramatic. They get, if you think about it from the perspective of a surgeon, how much is one patient worth to me, right? I don't know the cost, probably tens of thousands of dollars, right? So if she can guarantee me or help me get one customer for the year more than I have now, that's how much she can charge. So it's a very simple service, but she might be able to charge $50,000, $60,000, right? For a very simple thing. Likewise, she had just said, marketing. I do autoresponders. That doesn't target anybody, right? Another way to think about it is, let's say I had a business and I called it marketing for dentists, right? Well, if I'm a dentist and I need help marketing, I'm going to go to someone called marketing for dentists. Well, me as a company, I know and this is my special sauce, what I know is that there's not a lot of difference between marketing for dentists and, say, marketing for lawyers, right? What's the difference? It's still marketing. There's small differences between what a dentist needs to market and what a lawyer needs to market, but the mechanics are identical. So what that allows me to do as the business is say, well, I'm going to market to these dentists, right? And then once that scales, I can take that exact same thing and recreate it, just build a new website, and now I can target lawyers, or now I can target surgeons, right? So she's targeting plastic surgeons, cosmetic dentists, dermatologists, and she could just as easily tomorrow launch another site that does the exact same identical service, but just targets construction companies that are looking for it, right? So it's just positioning and really scaling it, like honing in and scaling up. The best type of consulting is in productizing. So what productizing and the overall idea of productizing first is that what you want to avoid at all costs is time for money, right? That's what we all start with. So it's okay if your first gig is time for money. I charge $100 an hour, and here's your service, right? But you're only one person, so there's a limit to how many you can do. If you get 2 or 3 clients, you're dead. You're done. Like you're instantly capped. Your annual revenue is capped. Also, most people start out with low mark clients, so you'll charge between $50 or $100, which is limiting. You're seduced into thinking that you're doing okay, whereas when you productize that exact same service, you sell it as a product. You can do it either as a one-time charge, or you can do it as a subscription fee, something like that, and you can essentially increase your revenue. This girl does marketing for cosmetic dentists. If you were to pay her by the hour, it'd be $100, right? Maybe $200 an hour or whatever, right? But because she's productizing it, she says, here's the system that I'm giving you, and that system costs $50,000, right? So instantly, the value is there for the customer, and instantly she's increased her actual hourly rate tenfold, right? So what is Productize Consulting? It's a fantastic way to package your time into what looks and acts like an off-the-shelf product. And if you do it right, it can be huge for both the long-term stability of your business, because you're creating recurring revenue that you don't have to keep manually doing, no manual labor over the course of time. And it's a low-touch method for getting new clients. You can easily give that to somebody, right? You can create a whole, break it off into parts. There's a million things you can do with it because you're treating it like a product, right? So I got some really good examples, because sometimes I think it's the idea of productizing sounds easy, and it is easy when you see it, but it's hard to kind of picture it together. So this is UI Breakfast. She has a monthly creative direction for software companies. So she offers an actual monthly service package where she does A, B, and C every single month, and for that she charges you a monthly fee. So undivided attention of a seasoned creative director to bring the vision of your app to life, improve your UI UX, and boost your revenue. I'll be your trusted consultant and follow up with actual design work, as simple as that, right? Done. And because because she's able to treat this as a product, she can turn it on and off whenever she wants. So it says this is service is currently discontinued, but I know because I follow her, that's because she's launching like 3 other things, right? So she can launch that, scale that up a bit, automate it, and then hop back to here, right? Does that make sense? Another example, this is Drafting You. This guy is Nick DeSabato. He's amazing. So he's a single founder, one guy. He does A/B testing. That's it, A/B testing. Which, if you looked on any job site, he could probably get $75 to $100 an hour, right? Which is pretty good. That's a good hourly rate. But what he did is, if you look at his product Draft Revise, which is his primary thing, it's a monthly A/B service. Probably have a website or work with lots of great people to incrementally, slowly improve their sites every single month, and one of them could be you. $14K up front, $9,000 quarter thereafter, right? So instantly, by someone signing up to that, he's making over $20K from one contract, right? And this is also a mid-6-figure business. Like he's making well over, I don't know his exact figures, but when he talks about it, it's well over $250,000 a year. He's one guy, and he spends most of his time at like conferences, right? So And you can see he has other small things, a Revised Weekly, it's like a monthly newsletter, a Revised Express. So all these things at different levels, so wherever you are, you might not be able to afford $14,000, but maybe you can afford the $3,000 one, or maybe you can afford the $49 a month Revised Weekly, right? So these are all small little products that he's creating that generate interest, that educate his audience, right? That keeps them in contact with each other so that even if someone is on his email newsletter might not be a customer today, next year they might be, right? This is another one, I love this company, it's called WP Curve. So what these guys do is they manage your WordPress stuff, tiny little 30-minute tasks for WordPress. Just bugs, fixes, errors, all the stuff. You know, WordPress is what, like 25-30% of the internet now, something like that. It's too expensive to hire a developer. He was an independent web guy, like doing a bunch of people's websites. He said, why can't I just automate this? I want to make a subscription as a service business. So I think it's like $79 a month. Okay. So I think for like,
oh no.
Is it a fire? Is it a fire thing?
Is it really?
It is. I think they're just testing it from downstairs. All right, we'll just keep going. Is that
I
something?
don't know.
It is fire.
Should we?
It's not flashing, it's just making a sound.
Not flashing.
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. Okay, the lobby's open.
Okay.
So the elevator, that was to let us know that the elevator was open.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, so yeah, so I think it's like 79. He has a couple different tiers, $79 a month. He outsources it all now, so he's not hands-on. This is a 7-figure business, right? So he's made $1 million plus annually. He's also opened up. I think he's doing he has like another 2 businesses. One to help startup founders build companies. I think he has a brewery now that he's launched. Again, once you set up the business, he's productized a service. He could be doing this by himself all day and night, just helping people at like $80 an hour with their websites forever. But by productizing it and turning it into a service, he's able to like unlock himself from that and let it work itself, right? Does that kind of make sense? It's another one that I really like. This is Growth Geeks. So what's interesting about these guys are marketers, and they were looking at something like Fiverr, which is just really low quality, $5. You guys know what that is. So what he did that was interesting is he just said, well, all these people are paying me a salary to do all these social media things. I don't have time to take on more than however many clients. So he just said, for $349 a month, I'm going to do social media management, right? So he packaged that up and then found a bunch of independent contractors, right? People who didn't understand productizing, and now he outsources this. So every one of these projects are buckets of independent contractors and developers, and he just sits back and he's productized a service. It's essentially an agency that he doesn't have to worry about. And he gets, I think he says he gets anywhere from 50 to 75% of each thing per month. And the company, the people that actually do the work at the other 50%, right? This company now, I think they got into Techstars. They're fully backed, fully funded, kind of blowing up. So again, same idea. So you can see how it can be anything from just taking something that you're doing and doing it as a company, or you can take it and kind of take it further and say, well, how can I make this bigger? So it's really, the sky is kind of limited, unlimited to what you really see. This is one of my favorite examples because for developers, it really hits home. So this is a web design company. The guy who owns this is not a web designer, he's a marketer. He's like in his 50s, I think like South Florida, like completely not technical at all right? I think he does like marketing tools and marketing books and things like that. I saw this and I fell in love with what he's actually doing. So as creative people and as designers, and we're in New York City, can we all agree that these websites are kind of terrible? Like pretty bad, right? The name of the site is $1 Million Websites. It's pretty crappy, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing, his audience, he knows his audience. His audience are people like him, other marketers that use copy like $1 Million Website, how to make money online, right? How to build a real estate empire for 49 cents and a ball cap, right? Whatever it is, he's using the language of his market, $1 Million Websites. All these people are other marketers and other real estate people that have large businesses, right? So these are all people that have probably six-figure businesses. Look, I don't know if you can see it, but can you see what he's charging for this? So he's given 3 packages, a gold, a platinum, and a diamond. The gold, for a website that looks like that, is $38,000, right? So for the gold program you get, we will create a new site or totally reconstruct your present one with text, oh my God, right? Audio and video that you record. You have to record the audio and video, but they'll put it in there for you. Number of pages don't matter. Oh, that's a plus, right, I guess. All 11 result bullets are included. So he gives you little result bullets, okay? So I guess he helps you with some copy. Time frame 90 days from agreement to going live, $38,000. The platinum is $49,000. And you get everything in there, but you also, they're gonna provide an audio interview conducted by Alan Weiss, who's the guy who's the main guru, the thought leader of this site, of his little universe, right? So they get like a little bit of social proof, right? Still, $49,000. The diamond, $64,000. It's a $64,000 website, which is like the cost of practically any MVP. I mean, that's any, like Y Combinator is like, come on, you know what I mean? Platinum program, technical updates for 1 year. Wow, that's pretty. Shoot additional client testimonials, so they'll actually, at $64,000, they'll get someone in your city to come to your house and shoot a little testimonial video on their iPhone or whatever, and they'll use that, right? So I love this as an example because I know, like, even a few years ago, if you had shown me that, I would have thought like it was like $5,000 maybe. Like, that's what is WordPress, maybe Magento backend or something. Like, there's nothing there. It's not even designed. But you see from the results of what they're getting, and to their customers, to their clients, because he knows who his clients are, and he knows what they're getting paid, where they are in their universe. He's like, I can sell you a $64,000 website, and I know that you're gonna get 1 or 2 customers, and you'll make at least $100,000 back, right? So when you put it in that context, to those people who recognize the branding in their way, with language that they understand, that's a deal, complete bargain, right? So what is it that you can offer? All these services that I just showed you are products. And none of those companies above are selling their time, they're selling the result. Right? So you're not selling your time anymore, you're selling the result and the value of that result to that person. Each of the examples are going to, people in the examples are going to wake up next month with guaranteed income. There's a clear, pay this, get that benefit. Here's how much, you pay $64,000, you get that website. You pay $14,000 and I'll help you A/B test your website every month, right? All right, so there's 3 styles of consulting that we touched on, and then we're gonna focus on a little bit more. DIY, do it yourself. Here's some info, go do it. These are courses, if you've ever seen Udemy courses, things like that. Melissa has one with me Thursday. And these are good options for lower tier. You can usually, there's some courses that can get up to like $2,000 or $3,000. You can actually go a little higher than that. But for bigger clients, you're not going to get someone to do DIY for like $50,000, right? If I'm paying $50,000, maybe I want you to do it, right? There's also, I work with you, let's do it together. So this is where coaching comes in, where you pay me per month and you're basically paying for the customization and accountability, right? So people love accountability and they love customization. So I'll help you strategize, we'll set goals together, maybe we'll do a Skype call once a week or once a month, depending on whatever tier you kind of lock into. But then it's up to you to actually do the work. And that frees my time up, right? It can be difficult to scale if you get, I know people that do this and they have like 300 or 400 clients. So after that, it gets a little difficult, right? You start having to really hire people because you only have so many hours in the day. Let me do it for you, I know you're too busy. That's the best. That's most major hire clients because they just don't have time to think about it. They just want you to do it. Yeah, they don't want to sit around from concept to mapping to strategy. They want an expert to come in, deliver a result for them, then they can invest in their services. And the market for that is massive because most people don't want to do the work, right? They just want you to do it. And there are ways for you to take yourself out of that so you're not doing time for money. And we'll talk about that. So there's a couple different traps to think about. The first trap is you doing the work. So you'll notice throughout this whole presentation, I'm like, don't do it yourself. And that's hard. There's still times when Melissa and I, even on our own consulting company, if there's a client we like or if there's a project that we really want to work on, we're going to do it ourselves, right? But we also know we have a large enough network that if and when we ever want to scale it out, we can do so, right? Because we know that that's the actual plan. So the solution is to hire great people to deliver the service and get the end result that they want. So the math of consulting. So retention income or recurring income is what your goal is. So you just need to start thinking about whatever it is you want to make per annual or per year, and then break it down, right? So if I have 3 clients and they're paying me $3,000 per month, I'm making $108,000 a year, right? When you frame it like that, right? When you start to take out the pieces and see what's achievable, that's not that hard, right? Like 3 clients at $3K per month doesn't sound too bad, right? There's another way to think about it is like with SaaS apps. I heard one of the best analogies I heard was if you have 500 people paying you $30 per month, you're making like $180,000 a year, right? I mean, think about the internet, right? $30 a month, $29.95 or $29 is pretty much any SaaS app. If you just get 500 people out of the whole freaking planet, if you just hustle like 500 people, you're making 6 figures plus, right? So it's all of a sudden, see how it expands a little bit? If you deliver on a specific project, you have a fee for that project, you complete that project, you are paid, then you have to go look for the next client, right? This is the feast-or-famine cycle. This is what most people, when we start out, we go out, we find a job, we get somebody who pays for that job, we do the job ends, we're technically fired because the job is over, and then we're back on the street hustling, trying to get more jobs, right? What you want to do instead is you want service-based, where clients pay you on a month-to-month basis. And I'll show you some examples of how you can kind of set this up here in a minute. That way you're consistently generating revenue. Every time you add another client, you're dramatically increasing your revenue to your business. So if I have someone paying me $100 for 6 months, right? And each month I just add 1 client, all of a sudden it's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. It just scales dramatically and very quickly, right? That's how you get really good hockey stick growth for someone who's just wants to be you or you and a friend or something like that, right? And even 10K, what you'll notice as soon as you get out there, usually on your first projects you lowball yourself, and that's okay. You know, I'm not one of those people that says, no, you always have to charge high. You need to get to the point where you're charging what the market will bear, right? But if you're just starting out, it's okay to do something and kind of lowball yourself. If it's like for a friend or some kind of easy job, purely for social proof. But know that you're going into it for social proof, right? So make sure they have like a good recommendation. Make sure that their background might be worth it. Like when we started our consulting business, our latest one last year, I think the first job we did was like a website for a couple $1,000. And easily could have charged 10 times that. Easily $20,000, $30,000 site. Not even a question. But I needed the branding, right? I said I just need to get something out. We can bust it out really quick. We knew we could shortcut it. It wouldn't kill me, right? Or her. So we just kind of cracked it out. We put it out there. Boom. We have our first client, first logo. Instantly got us our second, and then I bumped the price. Right? So the problem with low-paying customers. A big issue is that people think they don't want to rip people off, or they're worried about how they're going to come across if they charge high. The problem is, and this is opposite thinking, and it's only in practice. I don't know why this is true completely. There's some kind of psychological thing, but people who don't spend a lot of money with you don't treat you well, ever. Okay? The problem with low-paying customers, it ends up meaning that you don't value yourself. Or we think that clients can't afford our services, so we price our stuff down. You know, oh, they don't have a lot of money. They told me they don't have a lot of money, but I really need this, so I'm just gonna go low. the philosophy of pricing, you alone are the ones that control your pricing. And this is super important. The client does not know what the cost of the service or delivery is. They do not know, ever. You think they do, but you have to remember that what's pricey to you, what's expensive in your head, might be a drop in the bucket to somebody else. An example, a few months ago, I had, maybe during the summer, I was talking to a VC and telling him about our industry and stuff like that, and he asked me what the average price was. And we were kind of working our way up, right? We had done this gig for a friend, and we had charged him really low, and we had already gotten another person in that we charged pretty good. So it was like a low 5 figures, right? Which to me, I was like, this is fantastic. Like, I'm cool. Like, that's cool. And he was like, this guy was like, he's like, well, I tell my companies to never have a site that costs you less than $100,000, because sites that are cheaper than $100,000 are awful. They're just crap. And I was like, I was like, oh, okay. And like internally, I was just laughing my ass off because I'm like, you're nuts. Are you kidding me? Like, as a developer, you think you could build a good site for less than $100,000? Probably, right? Like, but value is different to different people, right? For the investor, it makes sense. If that team tells him it costs them $100,000, that means his money is spent, which means they have to look forward to a next raise, which means they can go through the process, which means that original investor can get his equity and his value back for the next round. There are reasons for it. So his value of what $100,000 is completely different to what ours is, right? So of course I went home and said, well, we need to double our prices. And it's like, okay. Like, and we've seen this throughout the market when people send us invoices and they send us like bids, quotes from other companies. I look through their quotes and it's just ridiculous. Like, you can tell how there might add a production manager here, another designer there, to get to that magic number so that it looks like the customer's paying for something of value, when really, you could build it in 2 weeks. So just realize that generally the price problem lives within you, right? It's usually us that has the problem because we don't value ourselves. We're not used to asking for that kind of money, but if you don't ask, you don't get it. And you always want to look for ways to incrementally increase your prices. Low-paying clients are demanding and take up a lot of your time. The cheapest clients you have will never ever let you go, and they'll bug you for freaking ever, all the time, forever. Right? We have some that are like 5 years now, and they've turned into friends, so we don't fire them. But they're like gnats. It's like I have these clients who are paying, good money, and then I have these people that I helped 5 or 6 years ago, and these jobs are like $200, $400. And they're just like, well, stop emailing me about tweaks and tweaks and tweaks. And I'm like, you're not paying for it, man, sorry. So you really have to realize that you're not really doing anybody any good by getting low paying customers. So the problem is you tend to make a low profit, you tend to over deliver, you're working a lot harder because you feel that pressure is on to get better results, right? You need more money because they're not paying you a lot. And then you get caught in that up and down cycle. Clients and projects and no cash and no revenue. And there's actually, I love this right here, it's super poignant. What happens when you charge low-paying clients or when you charge time for money, you start doing the math in your head, you're like, well, okay, I'm making $100 an hour. If I could do this for 30, 40 hours a week, I'm making X amount, I don't know what the number is, but you're making over $100,000 a year, right? But that's not how it works. What happens is you get a client, instead of making money over a 12-month period, you end up making money over 6 months. That's it, 6 months. Because you finish that job, the job's over, you have no clients, and then you're hustling for at least a month to find that next person to come in, right? So instead of making this big pile of cash that you think you're gonna make, you end up making much, much less because you're not factoring in the time it takes to go find a network and spend all that energy trying to get that next person in, right? So this is another case for productizing and going high. So instantly, one thing you guys can do, like right after you leave, after this presentation, whatever it is you're thinking about selling or you are selling, just mark it up 20%. Just jump the price. Don't change anything. Next client you talk to, the investment in doing this for you is X. Don't add anything, don't change anything, just change the price. And a client after that, another 20%. And there's no increase in your cost, you're just increasing your price. And what you'll find is that people will still buy it, right? They just accept the price, right? And you'll start to learn, oh wow, it's not, that problem of the pricing is mine. It's not the market, it's not them, right? So while low-paying people are demanding and frustrating to work with, high-paying clients are completely opposite. It's better all the way around. They pay you more money, they leave you alone, they don't want to screw anything up, so they're just like, hey, we're good, right? They're too busy growing their own businesses. If they're paying a lot of money for something, they have a lot of money. Why do they have a lot of money? Because they're busy building their business. So they're paying you to do the work that you need to be doing to deliver the results that they want. So it's they know that it's in their best interest to leave you alone. They don't care about what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. They just want to make sure they get the result, right? As long as you stay in touch and be on point with communication, they're pretty good, man. They're not going to be on your tail. They're not going to ask for adjustments too often, and they trust you because they're the ones making a significant investment, right? They trust you because they trust themselves, right? They're not going to second guess you because then they're second guessing themselves, right? And in fact, the more we charge, we find that with the occasional hiccup, minor hiccup, like these clients are way better. Like we've gone through massive projects where they didn't even have a design tweak until like the homepage, right? Like massive sites, and we're like, don't you guys can tweak it? They're like, no, we're good, thanks, it looks great. Cool. Yeah, premium clients are awesome. They can't buy a premium service unless you offer it to them. So just have one, have a tier. I have this, but then I also have that. There will be a percentage of people that will buy your higher priced item. So just try to make that tier. And when you talk to them, that also gives you a way to almost like do a soft upsell, right? You don't have to be a hardcore buy. Like that's just not how stuff is done anymore, at least in our industry, right? So all you have to do is say, well, normally people invest in this level, but my clients who are looking for the whole experience or the whole comprehensive product or this plus this, do this part, right? They go to the higher tier. An example for us would be like, well, most people, normally when people get an MVP made, they'll get something that'll be bare bones or something that's designed to bootstrap, okay? And that's this price. But for a higher tier clients, for people who want like award-winning design and really are going after investment or they're going after, going into an accelerator, they actually want this tier, right? I didn't sell anything. Even the people who have no desire to go into an accelerator gravitate towards it because they want what other people are having, right? Everyone wants the best. So if you offer them options, you're at least giving them the chance to go higher, right? So people who pay more have a greater perception of acceptance of value. You can think of Ferrari. Ferrari sells out every time they put out a car. They sell out 6 months, and like 2 years in advance, right? It's just a car. The product is the car. It's the same products and parts. It's not plastered in gold, right? The market wouldn't pay $200,000 for a car if there wasn't demand for it. And if you actually went in there and said, oh, can you give me a discount? They'd be like, no, right? So people say, oh, well, I need a discount. Oh, can you give me a break on it? They're like, I'm sorry, I can't, right? Every time I've given somebody a discount, even if it was like 10%, I completely regretted it because then I've lowered the price. And then they treat me like crap, right? They just don't question the price at a high level. So create your premium offer it, see what happens. You'd be surprised, somebody will get it. So once you start moving in this direction, remember, this is you, you're the boss. They're actually, and I get into this in a minute here, but they're actually auditioning to work with you, right? You're the person in charge, you're the expert. So who is it that you want to work with? Who are the people that you like? Who are the types of people you don't like, right? Go after them and ignore the rest. Cut out people you don't want to work with. So start talking to people and find out where they want to invest. Best types of clients, they're already spending money. They're investing high dollar value into whatever market they have. If they've gotten investment, they've already been building stuff. If they're building teams, if they're going into whatever market you're thinking of, if they're putting money in it, that's a great sign. If the market is supporting that. So an example is if you're in marketing, that anyone spending money on ads, magazines, TV, radio, billboards, anything like that is huge because people won't spend money on advertising unless their product is selling, right? They'd go bankrupt. So if you're a developer and you're like, you know what, I'm going to focus on the agricultural market, right? You find the companies that are paying money for advertising in agriculture because they have money to spend on advertising. So that must mean they're looking to get customers, which means they probably need your help, right? Yeah, return on investment, they see value. Always look at companies that are growing, they're always under pressure. Those are the